love will never fail. And when it may seem like it's, failing, we can count on one another. And I was very fortunate that Rabbi Ari Rosenberg was assigned to this town exactly on the same day that I was. So we both started here on the very day because God knew that I would need him. Because I, as a pastor in United Methodist Church, have to deal with the homophobia and heterosexism that exists within the denomination, and he's been a great supporter, a great colleague. So let us welcome Rabbi Ari Rosenberg from Temple Shalom.
Shalom. I'm Rabbi Ari Rosenberg, and I have the privilege to serve Temple Shalom right here in New Milford, Connecticut. I just want to say what a thrill it is to see everyone who came out today and to be up here with my friends and colleagues. It's a really incredible expression of what this town really represents. I've lived in New Milford now for about 2 years, and I have seen some incredibly amazing things since I've been here. I think the heart of this town is expressed less by the actions of some rogue individual who vandalized the local restaurant than it is by all the people who came together to rally behind David Thompson, his beautiful family, and the business, and to gather together to unite this town together. When we say hate has no home here, that's got to apply to the racists, the anti-Semites, the Islamophobes, the misogynists, and the homophobes. However, it's got to go even deeper than that. This country is being torn apart right now by divisiveness. We see it in the incapacity of Congress to work across party lines. We see it in the inability of the state of Connecticut to pass a state budget. We see it in town hall meetings that devolve into ad hominem attacks and personal insults, sometimes even threatening language. We see it sometimes on Facebook in various groups that we see. But obviously, the people who have gathered here today are here to say that we are better than this. We need to stop demonizing everyone who disagrees with us. We need to tone down our rhetoric and choose our words more carefully. Most importantly, when we say that hate has no home here, we need to shift our thinking from the finger pointing that we're seeing all over the place to an appreciation of the humanity of all the people with whom we find ourselves in contact, especially when we disagree with them. If any real progress is ever going to be made, it takes hard work, empathy, compassion, humility, and the ability to wrap your mind around another person's perspective. What we know about people who find themselves in extremist organizations, from the KKK to ISIS, is that they tend to be disaffected and isolated individuals, desperate to feel connected with other people and part of a movement. We can fear them, we can mock them, but nothing good is ever going to come out of that. If we don't deal with the root of the problem, then we're going to continue to suffer the consequences. Finger pointing can only get us so far. The fact of the matter is that we live in a country full of people who feel isolated, alienated, unattached. We need to work towards developing a more closely knit society, and we can start right here in New Milford. We need to increase the opportunities that people have to engage with each other, especially people from different perspectives and different experiences and backgrounds. We need to work to tone down our own rhetoric and de-escalate conversations in which we find ourselves. And when we feel that a communication is inappropriate, we need to call that out. But also, when we find someone that we disagree with who's expressing themselves respectfully, we need to show an appreciation for that as well. When the clergy of this town first met with Mayor Gronbach to establish a Hate Has No Home Here group in New Milford, I can't tell you how important it was for everyone involved that the group be nonpartisan, apolitical, and all-inclusive in the spirit of community building. Yesterday marked the Jewish observance of Yom Kippur. The words of Isaiah were heard in synagogues around the world. If you remove lawlessness from your midst, the pointing finger, the malicious word, if you give of yourself to the hungry and satisfy the needs of the afflicted, then your light shall shine in the darkness, and your night become bright as noon. The Eternal will always guide you, and you shall be called repairers of the breach, restorers of the path. The breach, I'm afraid, is growing in this country right now, and the path is overgrown. But if hate is to have no home right here in New Milford, Connecticut, then we must become the repairers of the breach and the restorers of the path. You may have noticed that I brought my shofar today. It's not every day that you get to hear the sound of the shofar. The shofar is associated with Mount Sinai, where it was heard as we collectively, all of us, inherited the moral ethical code by which we're meant to live our lives. As I sound this shofar right now, I pray that our united voices are 10 times as loud and 10 times as powerful for our collective work to ensure that hate has no home here.
Just to tell people how the rest of the program is going to go, it's going to end up